Hey, what's up again, guys? I was just making a video. This is going to be part 2 of the video. I had some problems with my SD card, and as I've spoken about before, my phone has problems processing the capabilities of my GoPro. So when I try to edit videos together and stuff on the GoPro, or from the GoPro to my phone, it creates problems, and I can do it, but it's very time consuming. And this is just obviously a very basic video. I'm sitting in my living room, so there's no need for me to go in and do any editing skills. So I just really want to release this just in 2 separate videos. So I'll leave the link to the first video in the description of this video, and I will leave the link to this video in the description of the first video. But basically, I just want to jump back on to what I was talking about before. And I was just talking about our past and our present and our future, or my past and my present and my future, but also something you guys should think about, or, maybe, whatever. But maybe you guys should think about it. Just thinking about our present now, where we live now, what we're doing now, eventually is going to be our past, right? Our present becomes our past eventually. It's just the way time goes. Also, our future is eventually going to be our present, right? That makes sense. Assumingly we live long enough, what we're doing now is awesome to live in the moment. That's really cool. But remember, this moment that you're living in and doing your thing in eventually is not going to matter anymore. It's just something that happened. You might gain some experience from it. It might give you some life lessons, and those things are super, super great. But the moment itself is eventually going to be gone. And what's going to happen is the moment we're not thinking about, the time ahead of us, is eventually going to become the now, right? That's just explaining super basic information. And sometimes maybe we don't think about that enough, though. And it makes me think about one example of something my mom told me that maybe I didn't listen to. I could probably think of a million lessons my mom told me about that I didn't listen to. But one of them was when I was my mid-teens, I was 16 years old, I got my first job. My main goal from getting this job was to get a car. I've spoken about before, I probably wasn't the best employee. I wasn't the best worker when I was 16 years old, but I went to work and I tried to work maybe as many hours as I could, even if I wasn't being the best employee, but I tried to be there as much as possible just so I can get, a big paycheck because I wanted to get a car. I was 16 years old, I got my learner's permit, and then, I was going on to get my license. I actually saved up enough money that I could get my car before I was able to get my license. So I got my car. And when I got my car, I got a 1993 Mitsubishi Mirage, and I was very on board with the Japanese import scene for cars, and what I wanted to do was spend all of my money making my car better. So I actually did do that. I invested a significant amount of money into the performance of my vehicle, as well as some cool stuff on the interior. I put in an amazing sound system. And I bought my car for like $1,800, and I spent 2 or 3 times as much money investing into my car to make it cool as I actually paid for my car. And, this is the course over a course of maybe like 3 years. And I remember my mom always saying, like, man, like, why are you spending all this money on your car? Like, save your money, do something useful with it. Like, when you get older, you can, when you have a good job, go out and get yourself, like, Porsche or Jaguar or whatever, awesome car that you want. You don't have to be spending all of your money on your car now. And again, it's one of those things that, looking back on it, it was awesome in the time. I loved my car. It might have been the coolest car in the world, but for me it was. Like, I put a lot into this car, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was quick, and again, it had an awesome sound system, and I put all like really cool lights on it, underglows, and I made it really cool. But then eventually the head blew up on it. I put in a new head, and then like the whole head, not just like a gasket, like the whole thing blew up, and so that was the first time. The second time, the engine, I had a lot of problems with the engine again, and basically, eventually, the crankshaft popped out of the engine. I used to drive my car very fast as often as I could, and I fucked it up and I destroyed it, and then it was worth almost nothing besides the sound system that I could take out. That was the only thing that had any value still. But again, it's one of those things that you're not thinking about at the time. I'm thinking, I don't want to wait until I'm 35 years old to have a really cool car. I want to do it now when I'm 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. But now looking back on it, like if I waited, it's one of many things. If I made a better decision then, maybe now I would be driving around that Mercedes, or I'd be driving around in something awesome. And I wanted it now. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm trying to learn those lessons from my mom and saying, things that I want now, maybe I could put off for a few years until I can, reevaluate my situation or become closer to obtaining the goals that I want. The same thing, me and my fiance were looking at maybe moving into a nicer apartment, and we're still thinking about it. But also I'm thinking like some of the money that we could spend on moving, we could just make my apartment a little bit nicer and still save, more money, because eventually our future is going to become our present. So let's, I'm trying to look at things a little bit differently these days. And, maybe that's something you guys can think about, especially if there's anybody that's younger that's watching my channel, man. Again, I'm never going to tell anybody what to do or what's best for you. Again, I wouldn't take back any of the stuff that I did earlier in my life. But now that I know better, I learn from that. And I guess that is a value too. So you could take it as, hey, you learn from, your past experiences, which I think is very important. But I guess just the best advice that I could give is, remember that your future is eventually going to come, and this present is eventually, very quickly going to leave. Your present's going to leave much more quickly than your future is going to come. Remember that. So what you have now and the fun that you're having now and all those things is going to be gone very, very quickly. But you're going to have to deal with the future for a very, very long time. So just, again, guys, something I would think about. Whatever. But anyway, again, mostly I just wanted to say that kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent here. But again, my experience here in Cambodia may not be the exact experience of other people's here. It might not be the exact experience of, again, other YouTubers. I spoke about, No Joke Howard. Again, his experience might be very different than mine. There's another YouTuber that I'd recommend. I've recommended him to you guys before. He's called Dave Does Cambodia. He's up in Siem Reap. Check out his channel. I think he's definitely like a grounded, cool dude. And I would take what he says very seriously. I think that he, again, someone else that's not trying to mislead anybody or put on like a persona or an act or, trying to do something to get, more people to watch him. I don't know. And then there's also another guy, he's called Cambodia Exploits. I think that's his name, Cambodia Exploits. I've actually met with him before. He seems like a cool, chill dude, so check out his channel too. But again, all these channels, there might be other YouTubers in Cambodia that I don't even know about. I honestly don't spend a lot of time investigating if there's other people making YouTube videos in Cambodia. I have no idea. Those are the three that are here now that I know of, and then also No Joke Howard in the past. But yeah, check out all of their videos, check out all their channels so you can get maybe a little bit of a more accurate description or different perspectives of, different ways of life and different things that people are going through here and all of that kind of stuff. And again, I think most of these people are more pertinent to English teachers. So again, there's a whole group of people here that are probably living here and not teaching English. It's just my life. Alright guys, Halfway Broadcasting Around the World. This is part 2. Like I said, I'll leave the link to the description part 1 in this in the description of this video, and also my Facebook and my email and all that. Alright guys, Halfway Broadcasting Around the World. Peace out guys.